your fix when it's Friday at 6. It's another episode of Creating Comedy. This happened at the end of the last stream. Hello, everybody. It's Joshua Thomas. Welcome to another Friday evening edition of Creating Comedy on Just Giggle It with me, your host. I've already said my name. I won't repeat it for you. We're going to go through some more sketches in the archives. We're going to watch them together. You're going to be able to ask some questions. I'm going to be able to provide some answers, some behind-the-scenes backstory. It's not going to be a very long one today, simply because this is literally my break from editing, producing, writing, acting, doing everything. I've been working, it seems, 24/7 aside from sleep on Just Giggle It at home. The next episode is coming this Monday, and I could not be more excited about it. We are doing it bigger than the last one. I dare to say better, so please make sure you're going to be there with us and the entire cast Memorial Day this coming Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, because Just Giggle It at Home, episode 2, has so much jam-packed into it. I cannot wait for you all to see the new sketches and all the new content we have coming your way. Hello, everybody in the chat. Blue Dragon, Nate, Generation Productions, Figure Rain. It's been a long day, guys. Like I said, since it's Creating Comedy, I was literally up until 5 a.m. last night editing just one sketch. I thought I was going to get through a couple of things, but I was finishing up one of them, the opening sketch for this next one. And then it's also my buddy Corey Olenik's birthday today, so make sure you guys, wish him a happy birthday. He's on Instagram at Corey Olenik, so make sure, or you can hit him up on there. I'll let him know that you guys said in the chat a happy birthday if you choose to do so. But anyway, do it. So I released, I had to make a little birthday video for him because, it's just what I do. He's a good friend of mine. And then we had a Zoom call. A bunch of his friends hopped on there, just, kind of hanging out. And then I went right back to film a couple more things, pick up shots for another video. And then I was like, oh, crap, it's 6 o'clock. I need to be with my people on live. Nate, I'd love to hear something cool. Please. Sorry if I'm talking so fast, guys. Like I said, it's been a long week. 2 weeks. I'm so glad. At first I was like, let's do one the immediate next week. And everybody was like, oh, let's get 2 weeks, give you some break, give you some time. Thank gosh. So, all that aside, my opening business, for you guys to make sure to tune in Monday, I can't say that enough. Today on the show, on Creating Comedy, let's talk about the here and now. Forget Monday, it's later. It's Memorial Day weekend. I hope you guys are all doing good out there, staying safe. I know that the country of America, if you're out of the country, hello and welcome, but I know we have been loosening in a lot of states, including over here in California, a little bit on the guidelines. And some people are being smart about it and, kind of starting to increment people they know are safely. I've done so in my life. I needed to not be alone like I have been the last 60-plus days, so I needed to make an executive decision of incorporating other people who I know are staying safe and kind of make them like my quarantine family so that I'm able to see them. We kind of have a pact agreement kind of thing. Anyway, but whatever you're doing, if you're with your family, if you're alone out there, just make sure you're staying safe and sane. And, all we're trying to do here on Just Giggle is provide you some entertainment just like everybody else. Everybody's just trying to get through this thing, entertain where they can, and, hopefully we'll all see each other on the other side. Oh yeah, thank you, Blue Dragon. That's a great point of cast your votes. as I say, let's be in the now. But on the community page, there's a poll up. You can vote whose sketch you're most excited about on the next upcoming episode. Katie's is winning again. Let's see here. So, creating comedy today. Let's get to it, guys, because I have a lot of editing to do. So I need to jump back on. Look at this. This is a bruised scar from falling in a take. I am doing safe. Thank you, Gabe. And hello, Gabe. I don't think I've recognized your name, but thank you for telling me that I'm awesome. I appreciate you. So creating comedy. If you're new to the show, what we do on this is I come on here every Friday, 6 o'clock-ish, and we talk about, what's that, flyaways? Flyaways. And we go through some of the older sketches. We started at sketch number 1 that was released on the channel, and we are already covering 2 at a time. I wonder where I got that idea. Blue Dragon and Tiki. No, it's just a ton of sketches. So if I was going to do 1 at a time, I was in for 100 weeks versus I was like, oh, it's going to be at least a year if I do just 2 at a time, right? And so we go through the old sketches. We watch them together because I don't want to assume that you've seen them. And the great thing about doing a watch along with your content, as I've said in the past, is that I can actually show it to you guys on this stream. Yes, it lives on the channel. The links are there. You can go watch it, in full and probably a little better quality. But right now, before I dive into the behind the scenes and the comedy structure of why we made that sketch, then what we do is we get to watch it all together. So if you are seeing it for the first time, amazing. If you're seeing it for the second, third, fourth time, even better. So the first one we're going to talk about today, stream rolling along. No guests today, guys. No guests. Where's my papers? Dude, I've been so busy, Harley. Seriously, I have not had any time. So I'm going to hold up the original one, the original paper with my phone number that's still here. That's the only paper I have. The other ones were moved because I did it at a different place. My house is all over the place from shooting random sketches and all that whatnot. So, hey, Darkside Studios. Hello, Gaming Nation Awesome. Hey, everybody in the chat. All right, so let's get into it. So the first one we're going to talk about today is hashtag Just Giggle It. Hashtag Just Giggle It is, and let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and pull up my, a picture of what I'm talking about, of these sketches that we're covering. I got to be able to be the tech guy, too, for you. You know how I like to do that, right? Okay. So, creating comedy. And screenshots, is it? Nope. There we go. Boom, baby. All right, here we are. So we're talking hashtag Just Giggle It, the 7th sketch that we released. And I say sketch loosely. So, Blue Dragon, please, I know you emailed me a question or two. If you could translate them in the chat. If I don't get to them, I don't have the email pulled up in front of me. But, so to talk today, we're going to talk solely right now about Just Giggle It number 7, JGI number 7, hashtag Just Giggle It, as the sketch we're about to cover. So, what we were doing in the beginning is releasing weekly. And it's a smart idea to do. They still suggest you to release as often as possible. It helps your algorithm on YouTube. It helps, build your fan base, especially when you have like a regular thing like even this. It's nice now to know that you guys can see me every Friday at 6, and it's something we can all look forward to. And, it's just a regular thing. It becomes part of your schedule. It's like podcasts you listen to. You start hearing it, and then the more you do it weekly, it becomes habitual. So anyway, we're releasing weekly. That was what we set out to do in the early days of Just Giggle It. So then we came to week 7. And I guess, I'll admit it's even happening again kind of as we're ramping up to Monday for Just Giggle It at Home episode 2. The deadline approaches, and when you've stated to your audience, we release every Monday, So it's like, oh shoot. Okay, so here's the backstory of this. We shot a bunch of promos that I wrote out. I don't know if I think some other people kind of contributed some promos. So we had all these promos, and that's what these were just going to be. They were going to be like 15-second little bits that we would release as like advertisements for the channel. And so that was the original intention of everything we shot in this video. And then week 7 came up. We had just released last week On the Way Out, which was a huge one, which was like almost a short film, which I edited, and that took a lot out of me. And by that time, that kind of like, I was caught up until On the Way Out, which was week 6. And then I had like stopped catching up. I had just finished On the Way Out in time for it to go out. So now I had gone from like having some banked and able to release it every Monday to now it's like, oh, I'm working to Monday every week. And obviously that's great training, and that's, you know, why I'm, you know, in this past 2 weeks I've been shooting. It's like the bare bones of a sketch, you know, 3 people tops, like including sound, camera, and all actors, like everybody doing everything, you know. But like, you know, and I was getting some compliments of like, oh, you know, you're so good at adapting, you're so good at like quickly being able to figure out what we're gonna do for this shot, or how to problem solve for like how to tie this together, or, you know, that is all the experience of not only the sketch comedy experience on this channel, but the improv experience, as I've talked about before with you guys. It's just, I put in those 10,000 hours legitimately over the last 10 years, and, you know, and this was part of it. So this was the early days of Just Giggle It in 2013, where Joshua Thomas, a young whippersnapper, is working towards every Monday to get a new video out. Hello, Fago. Please be safe. Do not text and drive. Oh my gosh. So here we go. So we come up to week 7, and we didn't have anything shot. We needed here, let me rephrase that. Breastfund, which is the next one we're going to talk about, was planned for the October release for breast cancer awareness. And so this was, I believe, the last weekend of September. I'm going to clarify that right now as I pull up the date. I don't know why. I'm so sorry I'm not prepped with these guys. There we go. Yes, so Just Giggle It, number 7, came out on September 23rd, 2013. So Breastfund was being worked on, but it was like meant for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is October. So I needed to save that a week. And we had nothing else. So I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Like, do I film something in my room? You know, I mean, but I wasn't like nearly as confident back then to like produce that kind of stuff. So let me see here. I'm sorry, I'm just looking in the chat real quick because sometimes I have to approve comments, and what I had to approve is give my channel a shout out. It's me, Blaine. Hey Blaine, C4 Daisy Lover, you just got shouted out, buddy. So okay, back to the rambles. Monday's coming up. What am I gonna do, Piper? Oh, the promos. How can I tie these promos together to make like a sketch of some kind? And let's find out what I did. Here we go. We are now going to watch #JustGiggleIt. The deadline approached. Joshua Thomas, Just Giggle It, had to release something. And this is what we released.
In a world filled with tragedy, suffering, heartache, someone has a heart attack during an earthquake, other negative descriptive words, there is one group dedicated to searching for the humor in all facets of life. Just Giggle It. Their mission statement? Dedicated to searching for the humor in all facets of life.
Johnny, I'm a businessman. I'm gonna do business. That's just the way it
Gosh damn it, I hate that. I'm sorry about that, guys. All these technical difficulties on these live streams. Basically what I was saying is the sound got out of sync, so I'm going to restart the video. Blue Dragon, you made a great point about the search bar. That was kind of like the thinking. Just Giggle It. It's the hashtag, or our quote, or I'm sorry, our statement was Just Giggle It, search for the funny. So anything you would look up in that search bar would be like the funny equivalent, like Just Giggle It, Just Google It. You guys get it. All right, let's get back into the sketch. Hopefully it doesn't mess up again.
In a world filled with tragedy, suffering, heartache, heartbreak, heartquakes, where someone has a heart attack during an earthquake, other negative descriptive words, there is one group dedicated to searching for the humor in all facets of life. Just Giggle It. Their mission statement? Dedicated to searching for the humor in all facets of life.
Johnny, I'm a businessman. I'm gonna do business. That's just the way it. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Here's to us.
Just Giggle It.
Boom. There you have it. I'm unmuted. I know that for a fact this time. Sorry that this keeps happening, guys. We're going to get a perfect stream one of these days. And on that day, everybody in the chat better go back and comment the perfect stream. The perfect stream is what we're all searching for one day, people. All right, so let's talk. Let's talk hashtag Just Giggle It. If you have any questions about what you just saw, this sketch, please throw them in the chat. Hello, Demona. I see you popping on there. Hello, Millie Goodwin. So Blue Dragon asks a great question that I'm going to start off with in talking about this. He says, if you can go back and do it all over again, do you think you would make something like this the first Just Giggle It sketch to establish the premise? Yes, in the sense that we shot everything, including this, before we released anything. I think we shot everything up to Social Not Work before anything was released. And so it was supposed to be like we released a little promo here, a little promo there, and it would build up to Just Giggle It. But again, we did not have the search bar aspect when we shot those promos. It was just like the thought of like Just Giggle It. And yeah, so I think that it would be a smarter idea to prep everybody and, come out of the gate swinging with this being like the search bar and kind of have that as our hook going into it. I think that would have actually helped us in the early days for sure, because it took us a long time to get to 10,000 subscribers. Long time no see. Yes, Demona, where have you been? I hope you're staying safe over there in Germany. Gabe Nettis. This is not a question about hashtag Just Giggle It. It is a question, I haven't even read it, but I'm seeing the Joker. So let's see what you have to say, Gabe. If you're ever able to make a new Harley Quinn and Joker versus the real world, you should add the Joker mobile in the next episode. Buddy, if I could, I would have added a purple Lambo long ago. I wish. It's so funny you say that, Daisy Lover. There is a Scooby-Doo sketch on our channel. It is a heightened episode. It's called Heightened, the Scoob Table Read, where I am playing Shaggy. And Mark Sipka plays Scooby. And Alex plays Fred. And Piper is Daphne. And I forget who's Velma. go watch it. It's great. It was part of the first Just Giggle It at Home. Let's see here. Blue Dragon, was Sipka wearing his red suit in the last promo? He was indeed. Mark would come constantly late from like hosting some event at an old folks home. And then he would be like, or like shooting another thing with other people who are no longer making things. So it's like, come on, Mark, you should have had your priorities in straight, kid. Yeah, so that was his red suit. All right, so let's go back and let's break this down a little bit. So like I said, that's how I kind of pitched it. I came up with the search bar idea, I think, in the very last one on the way out, where I cemented, okay, moving forward, we're going to be the search bar of comedy, and you put, you know, the way you would search for Google for anything on the web, this is how you search for the funny in anything, any aspect of life. So I wanted to convey that. So that's why that whole opening was there, with me doing that BS narration, you know, throwing some jokes in there, because why not? It's always fun. Like, if you're going to do a little... You'll notice this, and the more like I'm talking to you, giving away all my little bits and secrets, or tips and tricks of like what I use in my comedy. I love random jokes that, you know, because like there is a very serious structure to sketch comedy of like following the funny or like the pattern that you're doing. But sometimes, you know, you just need to fill a sentence, and it's like, this is a sketch, so let's make everything count. So can I put a little joke in here? Is it going to land? Maybe. Good jokes and bad jokes come from the same place. We've said that before. All right, so going through these had these promos. The first one was business. And then I walk out and I step in dog poo. And then it cuts to them laughing. Getting across, again, searching for the humor in all aspects of life. The simple way to say that is search for the funny. That was on our original hoodies, which, man, I wish we need to do a reprint of those. Those original hoodies were badass. They had the OG Just Giggle It logo with the search bar on the back, and then just a simple search for the funny right here on the chest. So nice. Speaking of which, if you do want Harley Quinn and the Joker merch, any Just Giggle It merch, you can get coffee mugs, phone stickers, cases, t-shirts, sweaters, all that jazz on justgiggleit.com/merchandise. All right. Let's see here. And, okay, so moving on to the next one. The next one has Sagar in it. So Blue Dragon asks, is Sagar still the reluctant JGI player at this point? I don't know what you mean by reluctance. Sagar was gung-ho to be in Just Giggle It. Sagar, like, wanted to be with us. He just earned his spot. So, like, the same way with Carrie Farrow, the same way with anybody who would, like, be new to the group and would come in. Whenever Jesse Goldhorse / McBride came in. Everybody starts off, like, you know, we're not just going to, like, give you the lead roles just because you're coming into it. Sometimes you did luck out in that because you fit the role that we needed. But so for the most part, and especially in these early days, if we had anything, we had a surplus of actors. So we had people who wanted to be on camera and act. So Sagar was gung-ho to be on camera wherever he could. It was just, you know, him earning his... I mean, I say earning a spot, but like that's just kind of an industry term or like a business term. It's like you kind of like, you know, just work your way up. And it was a similar case. He would help us out a lot behind the scenes. He would do the slate. If you watch that making of, there's a great montage of Sagar doing all the funny slates, I think on Breastfund and on some of the other shoots. So, yeah, he was, but this was definitely a part of him inching into the bigger roles. And I believe we're coming up on his main role, which was shot after this. So he did all these, and then it was like, you know what, Sagar, you did it, brother. I mean, not did it. Like, you're great. I love you. You're going to be with us for the long haul. Let's give you something juicy. And then we shot Troubling Decisions. Let's see here. A wild tiki appears. Wonderful. What did I use for the dog crap? Dude, I don't know. It might have been dog crap. like we found some dog crap or cat crap or something, and then added in that noise. Ugh, gross. I don't even know. Like Zoink Scoob. Now you got me like Shaggy. I just saw myself, and you're right. This Scoob. Did anybody else see that movie? And it's not Matthew Lillard. Zoinks. Will Forte, what the heck? M&M Cup, boys and girls. All right. Let's see here. Am I a fan of the cutaway gag, especially as an editor? Yeah, I mean, if it works, totally. I think that that's a very, I equate that to Family Guy, and I don't know if Family Guy invented it. I'm sure The Simpsons would do them, and somebody probably invented it even before that, but Family Guy definitely cemented it to me. So I really equate it to Family Guy. So if I were to do a cutaway gag, it would, unless it was just a great cutaway gag, it would probably be in honor of some way to Family Guy. All right, so and then moving on to Sagar, like I was saying, I answered the Sagar question. Sagar comes out with the phone to exercise, his iPod, he drops it, and then it breaks. Everybody's laughing at him. What I want to point out about this is Mark Sipka, at this point, this was 2013 still had a flip phone. And everybody else was on iPhones and smartphones, and then Sipka was we all gave him shit for it for the longest time. It was great. And so that you could see, like, I love that we have forever his flip phone on camera here. Scoop was disappointing. I haven't seen it yet. Really, guys? Oh no, that's not good to hear. I was hoping it would be like this resurgence of the classic Scooby-Doo, where are you? Rover here. You know what I mean. That was like the best Scooby-Doo in my opinion. Scooby and Scrappy, a pup named Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo, where are you? OG. Oh, the Scooby-Doo Variety Hour where he would like team up with the Harlem Globetrotters. Those are the best. Or like Don Knotts. You kiddos don't know who Don Knotts is. Let me tell you a little story. Back in the day, there was a comedy called The Andy Griffin Show, okay? The best straight man of all times. And why was he a good straight man? The worst. Don Knotts. Go look up Don Knotts after this. Knotts. He's a funny man. All right. Let's see here. Why did you choose this as a self-titled sketch? That's a great question, Tiki. Because again, if you missed the early part of this was a ramp up to Monday where we had nothing to release, threw it together, did that opening, threw the narration in there. What are we going to call this? Well, it was originally an advertisement for Just Giggle It. Hashtags were huge at the time. They're still around. But Twitter and all that, so it was like, oh, hashtag Just Giggle. Let's get this going, baby. Let's see here. It definitely doesn't feel. I'm reading all these Scooby-Doo comments, which I appreciate. All right, and then we move on to the last bit in this, which was Mark Sipka in his classic red suit. You can see him wearing that on Mark Sipka's special comedy special, or my special family special on Amazon Prime. Mark was on a couple weeks ago, before we knew how to have a good Zoom chat over this stream with you guys, so apologies for the bad audio quality. I tried to hear that back and I was disgusted. You have cool voice impressions. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate it. Again, tune in Monday to Just Giggle It at home. You know what? Stick around at the end of the stream and I'll give you a little tease for Just Giggle It at home. It's not a video or anything, but I'll tell you something about what's happening. Yes, Fago, you made it. Wonderful. All right. So the last one is the romance. So Piper, Mark Sipka, kissing. They were both single at the time. It was wonderful. And actually, was Piper single? She might have been dating a certain celebrity who's on a certain show called Solar Opposites right now. Keep that all on the down low, guys. Low down. But anyway, just wanted to bring up the kiss. The reason I talk about that, being Piper kissed on the last one, and then she kissed Mark on this one. She never had a problem because she was a professional, and it was never anything weird. It's like, it's always going to be a weird thing. I'm going to tell you guys, if you're young creators out there, if you write a kiss into your creation, into your script, into the short film you're going to do, into the sketches you're going to do, then it's going to, and then you're also playing the person that's kissing the girl and you're casting an actress, you might get some feedback from people of like, oh, it's a little weird, dude. You're going to get that feedback if you're not a professional, if you haven't proven yourself that you would do this no matter what, that you don't just write these little kiss things. Anyway, I just bring that up because that's a commonplace, especially, going forward with the coronavirus and the pandemic around the world. Who knows if shaking hands is even going to be on screen going forward in the near future. But anyway, so what I want to say is anytime you're doing anything sexual on camera with your friends, with your fellow actors, especially when they're not your friends, always be as professional as possible. Don't be like, hey, can we practice in my van? So anyway, and again, great point that Blue Dragon, I'm just seeing the word bird crap. This was obviously just straight up comedy. It's a wanted to show a kiss, and then bird crap, which I believe was pudding. Gross. And that noise was so great. Let me see here. Harley, thank you for joining us. I'm just looking back up. I know Don Knotts from Animaniacs. Does that count? It does, Nate. It does. I know so many references from The Simpsons, to be honest. Let's see here. I feel the bird crap would have been the weird element versus the kiss, Josh. Oh, no. So now I just finally read your comment. No, the bird crap was pudding. It tasted delicious, like I said. All right, well, guys, that does it for that sketch. It's not really, and the reason I kind of broke it down in a recap sense is because there wasn't much to it. Those were promos. It was the thought of, all right, if you entered this in the search bar, what would come out of it? There was one promo that we did not show in this, and it is in the next gag reel. So when that comes up, I'll point it out. It's in the gag reel part 2. And the reason I didn't use it is because I had not released Breastfund, which we are now about to get to. And here we are, Breastfund. And I was in the old man makeup in the fourth promo. So the fact that we had not released Breastfund yet, I couldn't release me as an old man and ruin it a week ahead. I wasn't going to do that. And so, yeah. It's saved for the gag reel, which we'll watch down the line once we get through episode 10, which we're flying through these, guys. I can't believe or 12. I don't know when the next gag reel comes. I think it's after Social Network. It's been fun. I mean, we've already been doing this a month. Can you believe it? I'm just crazy. Thank you guys for making a little community out of this. I love all of you in the chat. Let's talk some Breastfund. All right. Breastfund was released the week after hashtag Just Giggle It. And again, like I said, so I believe it was October 1st. It might have been September 30th even. Let me get that faux show for you guys. Because, you guys couldn't look it up, right? I mean, I have to look. All right, Breastfund was released. Wow. September 30th, 2013. I was right on the money the second time. So getting ready for the October Breastfund Breast Cancer Awareness Month came out.
Some of your old friends.
All right, let's chill, YouTube. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm sorry. If I get distracted, it's because I'm looking at that chat and trying to read, and then I stop talking because that's how my brain works. I'm trying to pay attention to you guys. All right, so Breastfund's coming up, and the whole concept of this sketch is very much based on those third world country videos where, they're showing you a bunch of sad children, and they're trying to get you for less than the price of a cup of coffee. You can save this little boy and give him an education. So it was very much inspired by that, those videos, and just mixing in. This is also, again, I want to emphasize 2013, guys. I know this is kind of about to be some sensitive material because the whole premise of this sketch is it's a fundraiser for women. You know what? Let's watch it and we'll talk afterwards, okay? Here we go. Breastfund coming up. Let's make sure. No, fingers crossed. No technical difficulties on this one. Gang, gang. Breastfund.
You've seen. You've seen me before. You've seen me trying to help the children of the world. You've seen me trying to get a sponsor for a little Indian boy named Mowgli, or an African girl named Nala. But what you haven't seen is the world's latest epidemic. You haven't seen Barbara. Barbara suffers from a disease that plagues 1 in 5 women in America. 1 in 5! Barbara has A-cup breasts. She asks me every day, did you find me a sponsor? Can I get bigger breasts today? For $12 a day. About the price of an entree at an upper-lower middle-class restaurant like California Pizza Kitchen, these women can have bigger breasts as soon as next year. You've probably said, I'll donate tomorrow. But these women can't wait till tomorrow. They're having to pay for their own drinks today.
I have
to rely on actually being good and experienced at the jobs I apply for.
$12 a day. For 12 less value meals at McDonald's, Stephanie wouldn't be drowning right now. She'd be floating on her big, floaty breasts.
My sister died.
My sister died because a shooter mistook her for a man who slept with his wife. If she had had bigger breasts, he would have known she was a woman.
1 in 5 women have A-cup breasts. 1 in 5 women, despite being beautiful, attractive, will still have to work for everything they get in life, just like a man. But you can change that. Call now and donate to Breastfund, or go to breastfund.org. You may not want to call, but think of it like this. What would you do if Barbara here came up to you on the street and she asked you, can you get me bigger breasts? You'd say, hey dude, get away from me. I don't want to give you money. Oh. Hey dude. Oh wait. You're a woman. Call now.
Indeed, indeed.
Donate.
Maria! First thing I'm gonna say, because it pertains to so many of you in the chat who ask about Animal Crossing on a daily basis. I probably hadn't seen Maria since we shot this, maybe a couple times after, in that same year, I'd seen her. We reconnected on Animal Crossing and went to each other's islands. So that's the beauty of Animal Crossing during this time that we're all going through, guys. It brings people together legitimately. So that was amazing. I love that I just got to see her too, like in real. So I saw her Animal Crossing character, but seeing her right there. All right, so there's so much to break down. This is a juicy one, guys, because, whoo, okay. I'm trying to think of how to approach this because I have so many things I want to break down comedically. But before we talk about the comedy of the sketch, I want to talk about setting this sketch up to make. So obviously, I came up with the concept. I directed. No, I did not direct this. Mal Smith directed this. This was when I was still letting Mal direct my stuff. And Thank you for everybody in the chat. We'll get to you guys on this in a second about the questions about this one. I have a lot just to cover, just to tell you. And so I'm a guy, right? And I'm writing about a fundraiser for women with small breasts to get bigger breasts, insinuating that it's better to have bigger breasts, that you're not good to have small breasts. So right off the bat, and again, thank goodness this was early, like 2013, no one really batted an eye. Like, you know, if I tried to do the sketch today, I don't know what I would be met with, especially if I did it out here in LA. So in the early days, so anyway, so I come up with a sketch, and automatically, it's still kind of crazy. So I'm like, oh, Piper, we need to find as many girls with A-cup breasts, small breasts, as we can for this, because we need to show them. They need to be the children of the sketch. So I was under the impression, I'm like, well, Piper's a model. And she was still modeling heavily at the time. She still does fit modeling today even. But like at the time she was doing so much modeling that I was like, oh, you know so many models. Skinny, tall women, skinny. And so I was assuming that she was going to bring them to set. And she calls me, she's like, I have one, who is our main girl, Jolene, who you see on the cover there, holding up those water balloons. Jolene is amazing. I just saw her at Piper's last birthday. Again, it's always amazing to see her. She's one of the most kind people. She's an awesome actress. She ends up doing Mad Men with us down the line. She is I need to look up her IMDb, but she does video game characters to very popular video games right now. So Piper's like, I got one. And I'm like, Pipes, one? Well, you're another one. We couldn't use Mal for obvious reasons. And so I was like, so now I had to call people that I knew to get more for the sketch, more of the children. And it was, I wish I could remember exactly what these calls were like. I don't, but I can tell you that they were awkward as hell because it basically was along the lines of, hey, so are you available this coming weekend or this whenever we're shooting? Oh, you are? Great. Well, you know, I've been doing sketch comedy and we have a sketch coming up and I need some extra people. Oh, you be down? Oh my goodness, that's so awesome. What's it about? See, now here's where our friendship comes into play. Yeah, exactly. Like, it was just kind of explaining that, you know, but again, the precedent was there. Like, this isn't the first sketch we shot. This isn't the first thing I shot in any stretch of the means. So I have like a track record of that. And I'm obviously embellishing it and kind of, just kind of making it a little grandiose for this telling. But it was awkward and weird to have to ask your female friends to come act like these third world people that need help. Anyway, so that was the first aspect of this. But then I did. So I had a few friends in there. Maria, as I mentioned, the last girl that is shown. Natalie, who I believe is looking at the magazine. And then Lynn, my friend Lynn, who I met at Chick-fil-A on Hollywood Boulevard, like in the first week or two of when I was in LA. And she had just moved here too. And it was like, I was so new to LA that I literally saw a girl in front of me at Chick-fil-A and I was like, hey, how's it going? I just moved here. And she was like, I did too. And we exchanged information and that was literally how I met her. Crazy. I would never think to do that right like these days for some reason. But when you're like new to a city, you're just like, I need friends, baby. And I hadn't been like thrown through the ringer of LA and the flakes yet. My goodness. Let's hang out, but I'm not actually going to be there. Let's hang out. I want to hang out, but I'm never available. Including myself. You start doing it yourself. You're like, oh, let's hang out. You actually want to hang out. Ooh. I was just saying it because that's what you say. All right. Anyway, so let's move on. So let's talk about some comedy. Creating comedy. We're creating. So Breastfund. Like we said, this is a parody of a commercial. So right off the bat, there's that. So you want to mirror things. We've talked about that before when I was saying... I use the example of like my hands, where I told you on last week's, where it was quitting a job, giving 2 weeks notice, and breaking up with your significant other. These are your beats, right? So you do the same thing whenever you're legitimately parroting something with like that is an actual commercial. You have the actual commercial of what you do, but make it about breasts, boobs. Here's your beats. So what are the things they hit in the commercial? And each one, you go through them. So first of all, that's like the approach you want to take. So, it starts off in a very similar way with the sad music. You want to match the tone. You want to get people into the world, because if you can get them to believe the world you are creating, then they're just along for the ride. If they doubt you the second they see you, meaning like, oh my God, this audio quality sucks, or like, oh, I don't believe you're acting. Like, there's so many things that can take you out of it. Key and Peele is one of my favorite sketch comedy shows because they are masters at setting up the world and doing film. I got to meet the DP who shot almost every one of their sketches. He came over to my Christmas party one year because my friend was dating him. Hollywood, baby! But, dude, I picked his brain so much because I admired the hell out of the fact, and he told me, he was like, we shoot these like movies. We don't shoot sketches. Each one of our sketches is like a little mini movie. In the setup, in the preparation, like the crew treats it like a movie, even though the material is ridiculous. And that brings me to my next point. So, the things you're saying, if you're conveying them with conviction and you're selling the shit out of it as an actor, but what you're actually saying is a little boy named Mowgli or an African girl named Nala. I'm mentioning Disney cartoons in the first sentence. And so, and it just keeps going from there. The devil is in the details. Details are always going to be funnier than just saying a common phrase. So like if I would have said again, like, oh, for the price of a cup of coffee, or I'll give you the example that's in the sketch that's used for less than the price of, I think it was $12 a day. So California Pizza Kitchen, or for 12 less value meals at McDonald's, versus saying you could feed yourself dinner, or you could help these women. Like, that's funny still if you're saying it right, if you're selling it. But if you're saying you could eat California Pizza Kitchen, or you could help these women, like just the detail. Anybody who's eaten at California Pizza Kitchen, it resonates with them, and they're like, oh, I eat there. Does he know that? Does he know that I eat at California Pizza Kitchen? Anyway, okay, so that's another aspect of the comedy. Breaking down some of the other aspects goes back to the mirroring. What happens in the actual commercials? It's usually someone speaking in a foreign language. We're dealing with American women, but you still want to parody the sketch. So even though they're talking English, we want to act like, I can't understand you. You have A-cup breasts. What are you saying? Translator. So even though they're speaking English, the translation comes on. That's another joke. And the final bit that I really want to bring up on this is the ending with that shot. Like, talk about saying crazy shit. And trying to sell it. Like, I'm saying this about Barbara, and even though she's not Barbara, she's acting, but like I'm referring to her and nearly insulting her in the context of the sketch. Pro actor. And that's how we're able to sell it. And that shot of like them surrounding me as that old man, it's just one of my favorite things. And if anybody recognizes the phone number, that was a little Easter egg. I'm from Texas, and there's a Texas rapper named Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Who? He used to say his phone number all the time on his rap songs, which was 281-330-8004. Hit Mike Jones up on the low, cause Mike Jones about to blow. Anyway, 281-330-8004. Me and Sagar listened to a lot of Mike Jones, Houston rap. Sagar was from H-Town originally. I don't know what that is. That is not H-Town, guys. Sorry. Or Houston. He doesn't even call it that. Anyway, but that was a great bit. That was just a fun. And that aspect I want to share with you guys in creating comedy is the personal touch. that is something that only I noticed and a handful of people, but is for me. So most of the stuff I make, especially like that, took over the more I made content. Oh, I'm making this for me. I'm making what I want to see. I'm John Krasinski, creating some good news because I want to see some good news in the world. I'm creating the content I wish existed. I don't know what this is. I love comparing myself to John Krasinski just because he's amazing. And speaking of which, I totally called it, FYI, guys. I was telling all my friends that the only reason Some Good News ended is because he's coming back on television. I just didn't realize it would be announced so soon. Some Good News is coming to CBS. Anyway, all right. So those are the points I wanted to bring up about Breastfund. Let's go to the chat, guys. Was just nipple picking the best woman for the job? LOL. Jokes. Great job, Generation Productions. My favorite detail for the original source is the walkover and reveal of Barbara nailed down how those ads begin. Exactly, and that was such a nice little touch. That was Piper's backyard at the time. In West Hollywood, no doubt. Like, we're surrounded by Sunset Boulevard, less than a block away. She lived a block from Sunset. We would have to get parking permits to park in her block because it's West Hollywood. You cannot park there without a permit. But yeah, that's just the backyard. She had this random shack there, and I was like, this is so perfect. I was like, what the hell is in here, Piper? She's like, I don't know, storage stuff for my parents. Amazing. This is Barbara's house. And because I played him once. Yes, before I even knew how much I loved him. I had not even watched The Office yet. To be honest, I started loving John Krasinski in A Quiet Place. That was, it might have been the first big thing I saw him in. I had seen some episodes of The Office. I don't know if I've ever shared this with you guys. Sagar, Alex were obsessed with it when I lived with them. When I first moved to LA, they watched it nonstop up till the finale. They would be watching it all week. They would watch the new episode. Then they would watch it all week. This went on for years to where I hated The Office. So I never watched it up until this past year. It's amazing now that I went into it with the right mindset. John Krasinski's amazing, but more so as a human. And that's what I really love and appreciate. And he has taught me so much without ever talking to me. It's just showing, like, how you can be, just the perfect example of blending an entertainer with somebody who's actually trying to convey good vibes and, make people feel good. Because that's all we ever are trying to do. Everybody is trying to do that. Every celebrity tried to do that during this COVID-19 pandemic. I think he has been the most successful, in my personal opinion. I didn't know this was going to turn into a John Krasinski love fest. I'm down with it. I don't care. How long does it usually take you to shoot a parody you make? It just depends, man. To shoot them, it's fairly quick. Shooting them usually will be wrapped within a day. This past week, setting up for Just Giggle It at home, a lot of the sketches were shot over the course of the day, even though, one day per sketch, because we're on such a limited resources right now. We can't all see each other. We're separated. Only certain of us can get together. So on and so forth. So, it's taking a lot longer to make content right now shooting, but back in the normal days, we have a normal crew where we have a cameraman, a sound guy, a makeup artist, the actors that are there, and then the director, and usually even a PA or an assistant director that's helping out. So we have a lot of people that are able to get this done. Sometimes the sketches, like this one specifically, all shot in one location. That always helps in locations, and especially if you're shooting in a big house, or at least a house that has so many varieties that you can get away with, all right, how can we maximize this to look like various places, and especially houses that are custom built, not like KB homes. No offense to anybody who lives in a KB home, but custom houses are so cool because every room is so different. Like Piper's old house was phenomenal to shoot in. Okie dokie. Have you ever gotten angry at an actor for not doing their job as a director? On Just Giggle It? Yes. Brianna. Filming episode 3 of Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World. We'll tell that story when we get to that. I'm looking through these. I've had frozen CPK pizzas from time to time, never eaten at a physical location. Again, the personal touch. I worked at California Pizza Kitchen. I was a host, server, bartender there. So, to go. I did to go. CPK to go. That was one of my first jobs. I was before I was an insurance agent even. This was a long time ago. So anyway, but I incorporate that. CPK, I'll throw it in there. How many times did I throw Piper in the pool? I think you had asked up here, Blue Dragon. I think twice. I think 2 times. We dried her off and did another one for safety. And the really fun part was, I take it back, we shot Breastfund over 2 days because the pool pickup and another shot had to be done at my house because my complex had the pool, and we shot everything else at Piper's. So the fun thing was we had to wet Piper because she hadn't even gotten thrown in the pool yet when we had to do that. So to do that ending shot, the Mike Jones 281-330-8004. If you ran into Barbara here on the street, what would you do if she asked you for $12? Hey, dude. That hey, dude kills me. Oh, my God. Hey, dude. Oh, wait. You're a woman. There's some bloopers coming from that one because I could not say that with a straight face. Anyway, so that was so fun. We had to wet Piper before she even got dunked in the pool. Anyway, guys, this has been so fun. I love you all. If you have any final questions, throw them at me because I'm ready to wrap this up. I got to get back to editing because we have Just Giggle It at home this coming Monday. Exclusively dropped here for you guys in the chat because, let's be honest, you had to be a true fan to be staying on this long, or if you're rewatching this and you stayed till the end of this video, you will know, and it will be announced shortly. This coming Monday, the host of Just Giggle It at Home Episode 2, the one and only Nicolas Cage. Yeah. We'll see how it goes, and if we ever... But yeah, Nick Cage will be hosting, if you haven't seen it already, Nicolas Cage in Debt, the pilot to the web series on our channel. Please check that out. It was kind of one of the last things we shot before this all went down and we were all stuck inside and the COVID-19 panic. But I was able to don the cage once again to bring you to us and bring Just Giggle It into your homes. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I hope you're looking forward to the amazing sketches. Go vote for who you're looking forward to. Let us know comment on Just Giggle at Home. Let us know what sketches you really enjoyed from those because it'll kind of give us the gauge of what genre of sketch to move forward in this context of Just Giggle It at Home. Granted, you got some fire coming at you this week. Some of these are just straight up sketches. They don't even feel like quarantine sketches, and that's what I'm beyond proud of. So I can't wait to show you guys. I will be back with the entire cast in the chat Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a phenomenal Memorial Day, and I will see you then. Thank you guys for joining me.